I'm going to take a few moments, and thanks for chiming in, Paul. I'm going to take a few moments, and I'm going to talk about the TradeKing acquisition of MB Trading, and I'm going to tell you about what I learned talking to the president of MB Trading. And as we're watching this, we're going to be watching the euro move, obviously. So first of all, I want you guys to understand that MB Trading being owned by TradeKing, if you think about like if you're a trader and you have an account with MB Trading, you're in safer hands from a financial standpoint. You're in safer hands with a company like TradeKing. And I say that because TradeKing is a much bigger company than MB Trading was. MB Trading has had great technology. Oh my God, the euro's crapping. MB Trading has great technology, and it's been great to be with for the last. We partnered up with them in 2005, I think. Steve Demarest, the president of MB Trading, and I went on a roadshow together back then. I mean, we've, went around the country talking about MB Trading and WizeTrade's, relationship. It's been great. One of the things that you may not be aware of as a trader or as an investor is the requirements that the NFA puts on Forex brokers, and they have over the years. Holy crap, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just watching this market just melt away at the moment. And I'm trying to explain this all at the same time. The thing about the situation with any broker that has an NFA membership, take a guess how much the NFA membership on an annual basis, how much the NFA requires as basically a deposit to have an NFA member deposit as a broker. Does anybody know what that number is? I'll tell you where it was probably about 5 years ago. But does anybody know that number? It was 5 million like 6, 7 years ago. That means there was $5 million you have to basically park and do nothing with. It has to sit in an escrow account. $5 million. Well, the NFA's requirement right now is not 5 million bucks. I want to say it was about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, they raised that requirement to 10 million. Now, as it sits, the NFA requirement to have a Forex brokerage firm is 20 million. 20 million. That means you have to have $20 million sitting in an escrow account, sitting on the sidelines to have a Forex brokerage firm. You know what the NFA has done? The NFA has basically, and everybody was cheering, higher regulations, put regulations on the Forex brokers. What the NFA has done over the years is they've really narrowed the playing field down to just a few players. MB Trading was one of them. Okay. MB Trading was one of them, and they had their $20 million deposit down, and they continued to do business. And I remember when they'd gone through this process, and I talked to the president of MB Trading at the time. He's like, "Oh my God, I've got to raise this money, and Jesus, I can't believe they're doing this to us." And on top of that, in fees that a Forex broker typically will pay, will be, and I'm just saying for the size of a brokerage firm that MB Trading was. Now you have to imagine other Forex brokers, what they pay. MB Trading used to pay in excess over $500,000 a year in annual fees to the NFA. And Steven says the NFA requirement smells like a monopoly conspiracy by big players. Yeah, exactly. You know what FXCM, back when before they became public, what they lobbied to the NFA was to hike all the margin requirements and basically had the regulators weed out the small brokerage firms to tilt it towards the favor of FXCM and all the big brokerage firms. Very few players are around anymore. There's only like 5 in the United States, and MB Trading was one of them. Well, TradeKing, as they acquired MB Trading, is like, listen, I've got better things to do with $20 million, like grow my business, than stick it in and in a escrow account. So TradeKing is an introducing broker through Gain Capital. Okay, so basically you leverage Gain Capital's $20 million and you become an introducing broker for Gain Capital. Does that make sense? That's what TradeKing does, because they're like, well, I don't want to put up that kind of money. All right, so MB Trading, because they are, had been acquired, they're, that money has to be replaced, and TradeKing is not willing to do that because they're like, why? Why should we have to do that? So I just want you to understand the mechanics on behind why MB Trading, the Forex business, is being moved over to Gain Capital. Okay, so mechanically you understand, and if you really have to complain or you really have to vent, you really should vent to the NFA, because they're, if you're dealing with FINRA is different. NFA, they're making it really, really difficult for brokerage firms in the United States to do business. Al says that may be smaller fees than FIFA. Perhaps. But the fact of the matter is, guys, that that is the way it is here in the United States, and that's the way it is with regulations, and that's what it's come down to. Now, let's talk about what's happening with your brokerage accounts. So if you have a brokerage account with MB Trading, okay, and you use MetaTrader, your positions will be closed on Friday at the mid Bloomberg rate, transfer rate. So the Bloomberg transfer rate, their quote on Friday, that's the price you'll be executed at if you don't do it yourself. But if you're only on MetaTrader, okay, that means you trade through a MetaTrader platform, and you've developed some algorithms or something to trade your accounts. You'll have to reopen those positions on Sunday if you want them reopened. Only on MetaTrader. If you're on Desktop Pro, you have a Desktop Pro account. You just manually trade through MB Trading. Your positions will be closed out, so your profit or loss will be realized, but they will automatically be reopened, okay, at that Bloomberg midpoint rate. So you might go, well, I've been holding this euro dollar and I'm long, the euro dollar, and I'm up $1,000. Well, great, $1,000 will be credited to your account. You'll be open that same position right at the same price, and from what I understand, minus the fees and everything else, you're just going to be reopened at the exact same price, and now your position is at zero. You'll still be making profits or losses. The same thing. Nothing changes except, your profit or loss is realized, but your margin requirement's still the same. So it's like nothing really changed. Same thing with like a loss. Like if you're like, well, I've been holding this euro dollar, short, and I'm down $1,000. So it'll lock in your $1,000 loss, but you'll be reopened right at the same price. You'll have a zero balance. Nothing changes. Your margin requirement's still the same. Everything else is still the same. Okay, that goes the same if you're. And by the way, if you're using Desktop Pro, NinjaTrader, whatever, all happens the same. Your positions will then be reopened in Gain Capital's trading platform. I am not familiar with Gain Capital's trading platform, but apparently I have to get I'll have to get tuned into it. It's supposed to be pretty easy to use. And let's also talk about Gain Capital for a moment. Gain Capital is one of two FX brokerage firms that there's actually more, but it's one of a couple FX brokerage firms that are publicly traded. Gain is Forex.com. They're a big company. Okay, I don't mind my account being over at Gain. I've obviously refrained from using them over the years because they have been a competitor of MB Trading and MB Trading's Forex business. But now that MB Trading's Forex business is basically, it's been taken by Gain Capital, I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it, actually. A matter of fact, I think I'm going to have more pairs being able to trade now, which is absolutely awesome. Like, I think I'm going to be able to trade like, the peso and Swedish krona and all these other exotic currencies that I hadn't been able to trade in the past. So I'm actually pretty stoked about it. Also, they negotiated the spreads with Gain Capital that out of all the pairs that we have, 3/4 of them are going to be tighter spreads than we currently deal with right now. And I guess about 1/4 of them are going to be a little worse, a little bit, but basically the spreads are going to be an improvement. Somebody asked me, is a gain capital a deal desk? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, I don't have the answer to that question right now. All right. Now, if you use the WizeTrade software programs, like if you use WizeTrade Forex or Command Trade currencies, FX, okay, we will not have connectivity through those programs for now. I don't know what will happen in the future, but if you use WizeTrade Forex and WizeTrade Forex would be this. I have it here, but wherever I have it, I have it somewhere. Oh, it's a WizeTrade group right here, like WizeTrade Forex software program. If you use this one, okay, you'll still be able to use the analysis portion. You just won't be able to trade through it. Okay, same thing with Command Trade FX. Now, as far as equities go, yeah, nothing's going to change there. All right, so just the Forex is going to be disabled. So you still use them for analysis purposes, but you won't be able to trade directly through them. I don't know what the solution is yet for those. That's a question that is like an open-ended question right now. But basically, the Forex business that MB Trading has had is being shifted over to Gain Capital, and you now understand the reasons why. I'm happy about it personally. I'm happy about it because I use the WizeTrade software programs basically for analysis anyway, and I trade directly through Desktop Pro, so I'm going to be trading through Gain Capital, which is going to mean that I'll have, probably comparable executions and more currency pairs and tighter spreads on a lot of different currencies that I trade. So I'm happy, and plus I'm going to be my money will be with a bigger firm. Okay. So that to me are the positives. The negatives that I see is just if you're using the WizeTrade programs, the connectivity portion of it is going to be, we're not sure how that's all going to work. Okay, but overall, guys, you have to understand the reasons why, and that's why I wanted to explain to you what the net cap requirements for the NFA for Forex brokers to have, and you understand why this is an example of overregulation in an industry. Okay. Doc asks, so can I still use MBT Pro to trade? I do not think so. Not through currencies. Not through currencies. You will be through equities. Okay, because the MB Desktop Pro, this will be used for like equities. I just don't know if the currency feed is going to be on here anymore. That is a question that I still have to ask. Let's see. Sorry, I got to ask some of these questions. That I'm not too sure. But I'm actually looking forward to using, like I said, I'm actually looking forward to using Gain Capital because I know that from what I've seen of theirs, they offer a lot of different currencies, and I'm going to be able to trade a lot more exotics. I'm going to have a lot more doors open for me. Okay, but it's really, it's challenging. I mean, I've watched this. I've watched the environment in the currency market develop over the last, especially over the last 14 years. Currencies have only been available to U.S. investors since 2001, and there's been a lot of regulation that has come in to deal with the brokerage firms, the industry in general, and it's been really interesting to watch it all evolve over the years. And it's upsetting, to a certain extent to watch, how the overregulation of this industry and how it's taken place. And I remember when FXCM was lobbying hard to raise the net cap requirements. I remember that, and it squeezed every small FX broker out of the business. We had like, 20 plus different forex brokers in the United States, and it got whittled down to now there's only probably less than a half a dozen now. All right. Sean says I've been using forex.com for the last 2 years because of the shrinking forex broker. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have. And Gain Capital, they're a big company. And I'm actually, if it would have been FXCM, I mean, I have some past issues with FXCM, me personally, based on relationships that WizeTrade and FXCM had back in 2002, 2003. But if we were back with FXCM, I would probably throw up a little bit in my mouth, but still be okay with it. Being with Gain Capital and using their platform, I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to learn about it. It's probably I just have to get used to doing the analysis portion of everything. Now, if you're also wondering about the morning edge and whatnot, nothing's going to change here. Okay. TradeKing still very much wants to develop the analysis portion of all asset classes, including the currency market. So that's good. What you'll see these charts right now. They're going to look a little different in a couple of weeks. I'll be using Gain Capital. I'll be fumbling around for at least a week or two, and I'll probably have to switch a lot to TradingView charts and do some analysis here. Anyway, I just wanted to inform you of everything that I know. If you have any questions at all, you can email me, b.morrow@wizetrade.com. Do not expect a response immediately. I'm going to put it in the chat box so you guys have it. Do not expect an immediate response to me or from me. Give me 24 to 48 hours to respond, but I'll be trying to handle as many questions as I can possibly for you. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to assist you as best I can. I want to thank you all for listening in, and I'm not able to answer any questions obviously because it's time. Kip's here, but I'll be able to answer questions in 3 hours on the Lunch Money webinar. So if you have any questions that brew over the next couple hours and you're like, wow, I need to ask Blake about this, I'll be back in 3 hours so you can ask those to me, and you can also ask them to Kip because Kip's here. Hey, Kip.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kip. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm a little pissed off at myself for not buying the dollar. I'm kind of knowing that the dollar was ready to turn today. I'm kind of ticked off that I didn't go off and do it, but it's okay. I'm not gonna jump from a building because of, but I'm going to be looking to buy some dollars on pullbacks, I think, today. So yeah. So anyway, how you doing today?
Good. I just was a little tired this morning.
Yeah.
This market the last few weeks is just, I don't know, it's been really volatile, choppy. It's just